Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Cousin Shannon in Iowa. I am getting ready to put together our Easter dinner. I started it yesterday, and I'm going to show you what I did yesterday. I boiled the eggs yesterday for deviled eggs. This morning, we're going to put them together, and I also made the steak marinade and showed you how I pierced the steaks, put them in a baggie, and then let them marinate overnight. I put them in the fridge last night. I'm going to turn them over today while we get everything else ready, and then when it's time to grill, they'll be ready to go. So I started the water, and as you can see, it just barely covers the top of the eggs. And what I do, and I don't know if this is how you're supposed to do it, this is just always the way I have done it, but I'm going to cover it. I'm going to turn the heat on. I'm going to bring it up to a boil, and I'm going to let it boil for 7 minutes after it starts boiling, and then I'm going to let it and then I'm going to turn off the heat and let it go. So I'll show you when it starts boiling. So they've been boiling for about 7 minutes. It came to a boil, and I've let them boil for about 7 minutes. Now I'm going to turn it off and let them sit for like 10. So we're gonna marinate these ribeyes that I got at Aldi's in my marinade, and how I make it is 4 ounces of zesty Italian dressing, some Worcestershire sauce, about a 1/4 cup. Smells good. A couple of tablespoons of Southern Comfort. If I'm making like for fajitas, I'll use tequila. I don't know if it really changes it that much, but that's what I keep Southern Comfort around for. Some Cajun seasoning, give it some spice. Some granulated garlic. Some black pepper. And some smoked paprika. Gives a little more smoky flavor. Smells good. Give that a good stir. Then I'm gonna take my steaks . And if I forget to show you tomorrow, hopefully I don't, I'm gonna grill these on charcoal, because that's how we like our steaks, with that charcoal flavor. What I'm gonna do is poke a hole in these on both sides. Flip it over. Just with a fork, just poking a hole so it gets some of that marinade down inside. And then I'm gonna put them all 4 in this Ziploc baggie and then pour the marinade over it. I'm gonna poke the holes in the rest of them and get them in the bag, and then I'll show you putting the marinade on. So I've poked holes in both sides of the steaks. Got them all on this Ziploc bag. And I'm gonna separate them a little bit so I can get down in between there. Get it on both sides. And what I'm gonna do is shake this up a little bit, and then I'm gonna put it in the fridge, and I'm gonna let it soak overnight. I'm gonna let it set overnight on one side, and then in the morning I'm gonna flip it over so it can go on the other side. You want to get it all over and in between. Make sure that it's all covered with marinade, because you want that to get into those holes and get all over the steak. The vinegar and the Italian dressing is going to tenderize it. The Worcestershire sauce and the Southern Comfort are going to tenderize it, and it's going to give it a really good flavor. And like I said, if I was going to do like fajitas with my steak, I would use either some rum or some tequila. I don't know that it changes it that much, but I would do that. And then instead of the Cajun seasoning, I'd use my Southwest seasoning in there. Maybe put some tahini seasoning in there. So I'm gonna let this sit in the fridge overnight, and then we'll take it out in the morning and flip it over. Before I start my deviled eggs, I am going to do some cinnamon rolls for breakfast. I have to get everything ready today before Russ leaves for work, so he can eat dinner with us. So in this glass pan, I'm gonna make my take on Big Biscuit's sweet biscuit. I'm gonna melt about a half a stick of butter in the bottom of this pan while the oven's heating up to 350. While that's melting, I'll prepare the other ones, and I'm just taking these Grand's biscuits. This one is the extra rich with buttercream icing. That one popped loud. Not always that loud. I sprayed the bottom of this pan. I'm just gonna stick them in here. They come 5 in a package. I always set the little icing container over on the stove so it gets a little softer. The only thing we're going to do to these biscuits, or biscuits, oh dang it, cinnamon rolls. So I'm going to pour a little bit of heavy cream on top. Not a whole lot. This just makes this so ooey gooey yummy, better than they were before. That's all I'm doing to that one. That one's not quite ready. So we're gonna start on our deviled eggs. You want to roll the eggs and crack them up a little bit. And then after you peel the shell off, rinse them off to make sure you got all of the shell, all the little pieces that might still be on there. So while I finish up doing this, I will, let me check on the, sorry. So this butter has been heating up in the pan while the oven was preheating. I want that to be level. Fix that. There we go. So this is the other way I'm doing it. This I usually do with Gran's biscuits, but today we're gonna do it like this. And we're gonna make kind of a pecan cranberry upside down cinnamon roll. Kind of like a sticky bun. And what we're gonna do is just sprinkle enough brown sugar to cover the bottom. And that just right on top of the melted butter that you melted in the oven. And again, I had that preheating to 350 and this set in there while that happened. And we're just gonna sprinkle this with some cinnamon. And then I'm also gonna add some cinnamon maple sugar. Top there. And then these you can find in your salad section. It's cherry cranberry pecan. It just saves you from having to chop up pecans and open a package of dried anything that you might not use all of. We're just gonna put those all over the bottom. And then open up another package of Gran's cinnamon rolls. And we're just gonna plop those down, top side down, on top of that cranberry pecan topping there. That one didn't want to come apart. I'm gonna do the same thing I did on the other ones. Just gives it a little extra richness. Just gonna pour a little heavy cream right on top. Pat of butter. On each of them. And then I'm going to put that maple cinnamon sugar on there. These people don't sponsor me, but if you ever have a chance to get the Great River maple syrups or this or any of their other products. They have a maple butter that is so good. Good on biscuits. I'm going to stick this one in the oven and the other one, and they're going to bake for about 35 minutes, so a little longer than normal. So I peeled all the eggs. They don't look pretty, that's for sure. And then what you do is you just cut them in half. So you got the pretty yolk, and then you put the yolks in the bowl. Put the whites on a plate. These are kind of misshapen yolks. I know this is probably something everybody's done. Don't need a lesson in it, but normally these might be a little colored from the kids coloring the Easter eggs, but because my kids are all adults this year, I didn't have any Easter egg coloring, and they were all working. Joe's in Missouri with my granddaughter. We are just making regular deviled eggs. So, got all the eggs separated. And just because this isn't going to be real fancy, mash up the yolks. We're going to add some mayo, about a 1/4 cup mayo. And then you put some mustard, and you could use stone ground mustard, regular mustard. I've got regular mustard right now on hand, so I've used both. Dijon mustard. And just a little, about half of the amount of mayo, what you want to put for mustard. And the thing with deviled eggs, it's like potato salad or any other thing. You really want to taste as you go. And put some garlic salt. Not garlic powder, but garlic salt, and that will give you the salt that you need. Some black pepper. Use the other side. I'm not worrying about getting this too creamy because it's just us. And I'm gonna taste a little bit. I'm at home, so I can do that. That's perfect. Here are the cinnamon rolls right out of the oven. I'm gonna flip these upside down because they're the upside down ones. And there's the other ones. So I flip these upside down. Hear the cats meowing because it's time for Becca to be home feeding them. Oops. always make a mess. Put some stuff where it looks like stuff fell off there. Then I've had the frosting sitting on the stove this whole time, so it softens it up a little bit. I put a dollop on each one of them. Like it doesn't have enough stuff on it, I don't know. You could loosen this up even more, add a little milk to it, but this will be fine. Don't forget the one in the middle. So that's our sticky buns. And then we're just gonna pop those down on here and frost them as well. It's the joys of cooking from home. You taste as you go. And the only thing we did, we put the whipping cream on there before we baked them. And I also sprinkled the top with the maple sugar. Give it a little more oomph. And I'm making a mess. So that's our cinnamon rolls 2 ways. We've got the pecan, cranberry cherry sticky bun, and then just the regular cinnamon rolls that I just added a little bit of heavy cream as they were baking. Then all I'm doing with the deviled eggs is taking the filling and filling them up. Putting the yolks back in, just with the added mayonnaise and mustard and seasonings. They're not fancy or anything. I'm not piping them in. It all tastes the same. And the last thing you do with the deviled eggs is you hit them with a little bit of paprika. You could do chili powder if you wanted a little kick on there. Doesn't have to be paprika. Traditional eggs, I think, use paprika, but you can do whatever you want. They're your eggs. Just enough. And there is our deviled eggs. So I've got these steaks that I marinated overnight in the fridge. Got the charcoal going. I cleaned the grill top. I've got it set low to the heat, so it's going to be pretty hot. I was letting the top heat up a little bit, and I'm going to throw the grills on there, or steaks on there. These were some really big steaks. I'll probably only eat half each. Might make fajitas out of the rest of it. But these are all beef steaks, people, so don't discount them. They help you save money, but they have really good meat and produce if you want to check it out. Hear that sizzling sound? That's what you want to hear. You want a hot fire. And we like ours medium rare, so I'll let you know how long I cook these for. This is the color that you're looking for. You want about a 140 temperature on the inside. Don't those look great? Here's our sides. We've got some crispy jalapeno for our salad topper. Got some, this is just Betty Crocker bacon ranch pasta salad. It's our favorite. You like what you like. So this is what our kids like. I'm gonna put creamy horseradish on my ribeye. Of course, no like Heinz 57. And then we have our deviled eggs. And that is our little Easter feast.